Well, if your ride's broke down and looking sad, got a clunker car that's just plain bad, don't you fret, don't you worry, don't you sass. Just bring it on down to Chad's Whiskey Gas. He's Chad, he's wild, he's got the speed, fixing up rust buckets, planting a new seed. In the Whiskey Gas garage, you know it's true. He'll get that old forgotten clunker feeling brand new.
Hey, welcome back to Whiskey Gas Garage. It's Chad Scott, your host, and we're so excited. Hey, you saw what happened last time, right? We got the Yugo running. It actually ran. It was locked up, and then it ran. And I got to thinking to myself, because that's what I call me. I said, you watch all these famous YouTubers, and they've got shop dogs and shop cats, but not us. We've got a shop chicken. This is Cheerio. Cheerio because that's her favorite treat, and she pretty sure I'm her dad, but we know that she's a great shop chicken. She does quality control. She does inspection. She has a time or two pooped in the carburetor. Not a big deal because she's a chicken, and we can tolerate that, can't we, baby girl? So yeah, she's been with us a long time, and plus she provides us eggs whenever we need them. So it's always good to have a shop chicken in the house. So she's going to be helping us out today. So what's going on next? First off, let me answer a couple of questions. You guys have been dropping questions in the comments, and apparently you don't get it. So there's a big disclaimer that says I'm a lot of things. I'm a doctor. I'm a professional wrestler. I'm a drummer in a country band. All these things are true. And then somebody said, "Are you really a professional wrestler?" And the answer is, yeah. So let me tell you the story real quick. I'm getting out of the military back in Desert. So there's Desert Storm, Desert Fox, Desert Shield. I was in Desert Fox and Storm. We're coming out of the military, and I'm getting ready to use my GI Bill money because I want to further my education. I want to use that big money. So I went to professional wrestling school. Who actually the military paid for me to become a licensed professional wrestler in the state of Kentucky. I went to Slam U, where I became Jimmy two times. So nice you say it twice. And if you're Facebook people, Jimmy two times is a real guy. Jimmy two times. Look him up on Facebook. Anyway, became a professional wrestler, became one of the biggest heels on the independent circuit, wrestled, I think, in 44 of the 50 states. And, Jimmy two times, he's from the Bronx in New York City. And he tells you to go back to your public housing project and ask your mama who your real daddy is and tell her to go pick up the government cheese because it's Saturday. So I wrestled in a full tuxedo. I wrestled 9 different guys named Big Country in my career. So that's my claim to fame. Last show I did was May 18th at Heritage Wrestling Alliance there in Marion, North Carolina, where I beat the thoroughbred Braden Marshall, beat him down like a dog. So yeah, life's interesting around here at the old Whiskey Gas Garage. But somebody asked that question, were you really a professional wrestler? And the answer is no, I wasn't really a professional wrestler. I am a professional wrestler. Even at the age of 57, I can get in the ring and feel like I could go with anybody right now. So if you want to take on Jimmy two times at the Whiskey Gas Garage right here, we'll fight. The winner gets a Yugo. I'm not really sure that's a prize. Because probably you would lose on purpose going, no, I really don't want to have the Yugo. I want you to have the Yugo. So where we left off on the Yugo, we did get it running. We got it started. We got it fired up. And then we realized the fuel system was completely cobbled together. So on this week's episode, our goal is to, number one, get some kind of sustainable fuel system. We have at least off camera cleaned out the gas, if you want to call it that. Follow me over here, Holden. Holden, thank you for being once again my awesome cameraman. So we took a little clicky clacky and pulled out the gas. So that looks completely clean, right? That Ooh, ooh, ooh. I swear I'm only gonna do it one more time. You smell something horrible and you just keep going back to see if it was really as bad as you thought it was? This was as bad as I thought it was. So yeah, I got a little that's what came out of the tank. Now it's got some sediment in it, not horrible. I poked in there with a borescope, which I went and bought since the last episode. Thank you, Amazon Prime. $32, Amazon Prime days. And but the gas, it looked rough, but no rust in the tank. Tank looked fine. So if you remember, On the last one, somebody had taken the lines from the gas tank, ran them all the way up to the motor in just rubber lines. Now they have hard lines in them normally, and they go through the body of the car. And it then they ran rubber lines up here underneath this thing, and when they did that, it just it just got sloppy. Do you need to go outside, honey? Hold on. Oh, hi. Say hi, Cheerio. Say hi to all your Cheerio fans. Maybe we'll get Cheerio on page, huh? I don't know. Let me let Cheerio out. She wants to go outside and play with her friends. All right. All right. Go make me some eggs. Gotta have breakfast tomorrow. All right. So what happened is we know if you come over here, ah, there's still gasoline everywhere. So right here, where they'd run the lines, so there's a return line and a send line for the fuel tank. The crank, you can see right there, the crank just ate that line up. You'll see it sat right in there, and it glugged out all of the fuel. So we had our temporary system set up. We got it started. So today we're gonna, I don't know what we're gonna do to fix this. We're gonna clip it out. We're not gonna fix it right. Uh, I have, I'm an amazing mechanic. I'm a master mechanic at doing things the most difficult, most wrong way possible. The way whoever did this, and as much as I would claim this, if it hadn't done that, I would go, yeah, I did that. I'm just going to probably fix this. We're going to add some additional line in here. See what happens. We thought on the last episode that it was weeping from the weep valve on the fuel pump. That may not be the case. So we're just going to cut this line, see if that does something magic to the system, and then go from there. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work out, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. So, ooh, did you see that? That was awesome. I just threw that from here and landed on my flashlight. I meant to do that. So, we're going to use absolutely the wrong tool, wire cutters, and we're going to cut the fuel line here, and then we're going to cut that bad place out of it. There. That looks like that's 1/4 inch fuel line. Let's see. We could, a couple of different things we could do with that 1/4 inch fuel line. We could either, I was thinking about, we'll just stick a filter in there. That would be so much easier than doing something actually constructive. But we're not going to do that. So we'll stick a little piece in there, maybe a couple little grommets. We'll hook it up. We'll make it work out in any case. So I think this is the. It's hard to tell. Oh, that's still got bad fuel in it. Ooh. So I think that this is actually the send line, and then that's the return line, and it sends and it returns, uh, and so we're going to have to, yeah, if that's going to keep pouring fuel, we're going to have bigger problems. We'll just stick a screw in it. So that's going to be the send line. We're going to hook up the actual fuel system. And then what we want to do after that is we want to put some fuel in the old gas tank back here. And then we're going to try to just run it for a while. I've got to dump some coolant stuff into the coolant system. And I got to bake that thing out because it looks like hammered whale poo strained through a dirty sweat sock. Let that sink in. Hammered whale poo strained through a dirty sweat sock. That's what it looks like is in my radiator right now. So we're gonna clean that out. So we're gonna take a couple of minutes, get this kind of hooked up, and then we'll be ready, hopefully, to fire it up. So y'all hang in for just a couple of minutes, and then we'll see what we can do. And welcome back to Whiskey Gas Garage. I'm Chad Scott. I'm your host, and it's later. I get it. I'm in the same outfit. I actually set it aside on. I think we were working on this 2 or 3 days ago. Trying tragedy. Tragedy struck. So, as you saw in that last section, Holden and I were speeding through a rapid pace, change the oil, change the stuff, change the fluid in the car cooler fluid, and yeah, and that was good. We were just gonna hold off. That was where we were gonna stand. We greased some things down and done some things, and so about midnight that night, I can't sleep. I said, I'll go out and I'll just empty it out one more time, heat it up, just flush it out so it'll be ready for filming the next day. Got it here, and it caught on fire, fire, fire. It caught on fire. So what I'm saying is, it caught on fire. So you remember we were talking a lot ad nauseum about the fuel pump had a leak. So here's the fuel pump that we took out of it. And if you notice, it's got two weep valves. Can you catch those weep valves in there, Holden? Little tiny weep valve. Hello, I'm your little tiny weep valve. And then there's another one on the other side. And both of them were spitting out fluid at a much more rapid rate than perhaps I anticipated. So what happened is fire, big fire. And if you remember we were talking about this. We were saying, oh, it's not charged after 8 years, and it was in the green. Well, guess what? Now it's not in the green because I had to blow dry chemical all over the fire that I can only assume was what it must have felt like when they blew up the oil wells in Iraq. It has to be pretty much that same level of intensity. It was this, it, it was this big in man fires. So my wife would say it was probably that big. So in man fires this big, in wife fires probably that big. But they whoosh just blew up out of it. The car was running, by the way, so always exciting. I grabbed the thing and I like a half a second, and then suddenly the whole room was filled with this yellow dry chemical. I mean, to the point where I had to clean the whole garage. There was chemical everywhere, and I just went shh. I didn't go shh. I went shh. Okay, chemical everywhere, and there was a lot going on. The fire. Did I mention there was a fire? So once the fire was out, the car was still running, just like. So I ran over, turned the car off, and then I said some things that I can't say on this channel, and then I went to bed. I went to bed. No, that's not true. That's not true. I went and got a Jack Daniels Sinatra Select, a nice sipping, and I watched a little bit of Pole Barn Garage. He's rebuilding the Holy Goat engine, and I drank a little bit, and then I went to bed, and it felt good. So came out. The fuel pump had arrived the next day anyway. We put the new fuel pump on it, and in the interim, I rebuilt the thermostat housing because there's a short on the videos here of the rebuilding because my wife loves it when I come into her formal dining room, sit down at her formal dining room table, and start rebuilding thermostat housings. That makes her very, very excited for this channel. And so we did that, and that brings us back out here. So we took out all the air cleaner and all the housing there. We took the spare tire out, which sits right where our nice little tool stand is. Makes a lovely tool stand. It's almost like a display case for the Yugo. We took all that out, and now here we are. So where we wanted to end up last time, we wanted to get this darn thing to see if it would drive. And I don't say we're not taking it out through our new lovely open air garage with our new door. Thank you, C&M Garage Door sponsor. And but what happened was, I just want to see the axles move. I want to see if it goes into gear. And what you can remember from the last episode is we didn't have a clutch. And I don't mean we don't have a clutch that it's not engaging. I mean we can't push the darn thing in. Um, so over here you can see it's a cable driven clutch, and so it's super mechanical. Little cable drives through, pulls this back, opens the clutch, pressure plate throwout bearing. It opens it all up there, and you can switch gears, no problem. Thing is, we tap, tippy, tap, tap with our foot on that, and it will not move at all. So our first thought was, the right way to do this. And let's talk about the right way versus what we're going to do. The right way to do this is go ahead and pull the motor. Just it's a half a day. Pull the motor, separate the clutch, get new stuff in there, maybe new clutch, pressure plate, throwout bearing. It's got 44,000 miles on it. Clutch will be fine. So my second thought was we'll just every day we'll come in here and work it a little bit and spray some WD-40. And we only use WD-40 because they're a sponsor. WD-39, not a sponsor anymore. WD-40, that's where it's at. This is the one you want to get. So we keep spraying that in there every day, moving a little bit at a time. And what do I say? Where there's a wiggle, there's a way. So we've been wiggling on her, and she seems to giving us a little bit every day. And we get been up, going up under it and tapping it with a hammer, tippy tap, tap tap, with a mean hammer, and then with a nice hammer. So with a big old sledge, and then with a rubber hammer, just tapping around the edges. I've had luck with that in the past. I've out of 10 cars I've done that to, three three maybe have actually worked that I haven't had to pull the motor out of, and I would really not like to pull this motor if I didn't have to. So we're going to tippy tap under it. We're going to get over. We're going to tippy tap, 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 and then we're going to put Holden in the car, and I'm going to work it from the outside. So in conjunction, push pull. He's going to push just slightly on the clutch, and I'm going to push on this just a little bit while we continue to spray WD-40 on it. See if we can't get this thing to release. What we do know about the car, now that it's got a new fuel pump, and now that it's got the ability to start right up, and it does that. It does that. Now we know the water pump doesn't work. Okay, it works. It just spits all the water out of the back of the engine because the wheat valves are completely open and no water circulating, which is again why the thermostat would not open. But we do know the engine gets hot, things happen, but water spits out the back there. So it's a water pump, and we got one on order from yugoparts.com out of Texas. My buddy Jay there, who just now has my credit card on file, and I don't even know if it's charging the right things. I just assume there's going to be Yugo parts charged. So, but listen to it. I mean, it's kind of a revelation from the end. Oh, listen to that. By the way, it beeps. So you got to get these fancy little fuses, which I'll show you, which are not fancy at all, but they're harder to find. Had to order them from Napa Joe. Got them for me down there to Napa and Berthoud, but changed out really all the fuses that were bad, and now it goes beep, beep. Not that that's annoying at all. So, but it does it. But listen to her fire up here. First turn of the key, guys. First turn of the key. Not only does she fire up, look, Ron, no hands, no feet. She idles. And none of the emissions are hooked up. Well, I guess they are hooked up, but they're not all hooked up to the top of it. So it's got a little bit of up and down right now. We'll fix that. I haven't done anything to that carburetor. I've not tuned it. I've not touched it. I've not added rich lean. It just is what it is. So it does things. And more importantly, it does them on demand. So that's always a good thing that we can get it to do that. And then these fuses, and some of you old school guys and gals will know these fuses. Look at those. Those are the old bus fuses. That's your emergency fuse kit that I got. And so if you look right down here, you can see where these fuses go. I've got to get one for the radio still and put one of these in it. And, your modern cars, your 5 amp, your 10 amp, your 15, your 20, your 30, you need all those fuses. You go 16 amp. Got a 16 amp fuse. It's got a 9 amp fuse. It's not normal. There's nothing normal about these cars. But we've got to get we're gonna get their radio fixed. We got to, because it's a Yugo radio, and you go nowhere without a radio. See what I did there? I think you do. I think you understand. All right, no cure for the summertime blues. Did I mention it's 102 freaking degrees outside? 102 in sunny Berthoud, Colorado. Did I mention that we have more sunny days than California and Florida? Not combined, but individually. We have more days of sunshine here, and you can feel it today because it's hot. It's like standing on the surface of the freaking sun. Hot. So, got the fuses in. It does starty things. And by the end of this episode, we wanted to do wheelie turny things with the shifty sticky thing. So there's stuff going on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get under it. We're going to tap on it one last time. Then Holden and I haven't really gotten in and worked it together yet. So I'm going to work from the outside with a pry bar and pry this a little bit while Holden tippy taps it with his foot. Kind of push pull, push pull. We've talked about this, push pull. And we're going to try to see if we can't get that clutch to release. And I'll be honest with you, we've been doing the same kind of stuff for the last couple of days, and it's wiggling, but we're not nearly there yet. certainly not where we can get it in gear. So I'm going to get under here and tip tap on it a little bit more, and then we're going to get Holden inside, and we'll set up a camera out here, and then we'll try to see if we can get this thing to go into a gear. Catch gear! We want it to catch gear, because all 45 of these horsepower need to be let out of the barn. All 45 of these horsepower. 45. It is a Yugo 45 for that very reason. So we're going to get up under here. Interesting transmission setup. I've never seen one quite like this. So the transmission here, engine here, it's your oil pan, and your cross member here that holds your transmission, kind of holds them in place. But the cool thing about it is you can pull the motor on these and leave the transmission in it, and it just stays right there on the cross member. You don't even have to take the cross member out to take the motor out. The motor will pop right out. Oh, these are my cool new fuel lines I put in for temporary, maybe forever, depending on where I can zip tie them to. So on the transmission, we stuck a borescope in it, and we look at that. That's all broke. I gotta fix that. Well, we took a borescope in it, and we checked the level of the grease that was in the transmission, and it looks like there's just a thin layer of rust between the flywheel or the clutch and the press plate throttle. There's just a little bit of junk in there, and we got to get that junk. So I like to tap on these, not hard enough to hurt the casings because these are not cast iron casings, but just enough to try to get the transmission and all of this to loosen up a little bit. It's now this is the third day we've done this, bud. It's the third day we've crawled under here. We've been tapping on it quite a lot actually, and I know you're like you just whacked on it with an 8-pound mallet. Now you're doing it with a rubber mallet. Why would you do that? Well, number one, it makes me feel good. I have ruthless aggression. This helps me get it out. It's we're going to continue to tap on it. It's really the vibration we're trying to get out of it. There's not a lot else we can do while it's up on jack stands to help it. We've rattled we've turned the axles, we've done everything that you ought to do to try to get that clutch to free up, and we've been doing it slowly. Lots of WD-40, and we've invested really more time in just trying to get this clutch to free up. I do not want to pull this motor. That's the right way to do it. It's the right way to do it. Don't get me wrong. But you're watching my channel, so we're not going to do it exactly the right way to do it. We're building cars for working class guys here. We get these cars, we get them good, we move them on to working class guys. The kind of guys that throw the old wife in seat next to you, go down to the Sonic, buy her a Sonic Blast or a Churro or whatever they sell at Sonic. Sonic, not a sponsor, should be. That's the kind of cars we're building. We're building cars for those guys. So we're going to try to build them as good as we can and that they could drive every day if they needed to. So let's get up on the top side and start, just wiggling a little bit and see if we can figure out how we're going to do it. So I'll see you on the top side of the moon. Become one with the motor. That's my job, to become one with the motor. And this is probably the most awkward camera angle we've ever had, but we need 3 people, and we're not equipped for 3 people. So Holden's in the car right now. Say hi, Holden. All right, Holden's in the car, and his job is to tippy tap on the clutch, and then I'm going to wedge it with this pry bar, which is the smallest of the pry bar family that I have. It was either this or a spud bar. So I'm going to wedge it from my side while he tippy taps it from the other side, and then we'll see if we can't get it. So just tippy tap it, just a little. Put pressure on it, just a little. Nothing. Let it out. Okay. Well, a little bit of wiggle there, right? All right, hold on. Let's do it again. Stop. Oh, a little bit more. A little bit more. Hold on. Why didn't we? Oh, stop. Don't do it. I don't know if you've ever held the light for your dad, but I am pretty sure that's why I'm in therapy. So Holden just pushes stuff without me asking him to. Is that just that? Is it boy mentality? I I just want to. I need to get your opinion. Just drop it in the comments if you ever held the light for your dad and you have horrible memories. If you've ever held the light for your dad, you may be entitled to compensation. It's a good thing I'm a doctor, not a lawyer. All right, here we go again. Slowly. Okay, here we go. A little bit more. A little bit more. All right, let it out, let it out, let it out, let it out. Woo! That's the most we've ever got. Hold on. Let's put some WD 39 on it. Ah. All right, let's try this again. All right, here we go. Slowly. Slowly. Ah! It's all the way in. It's all the way in. All right, let your foot completely off of it. All right, let your foot completely off of it. All right, let your foot completely off of it. It is off? Yes. Ugh. Okay. So we did something. Uh, it's all the way in. It was stuck all the way out. Now it appears to be stuck all the way in. All right, this is what I want you to do. Pretend you're playing Staying Alive. Staying alive, staying alive. Okay, and I want you to tap your foot on the clutch pretty hard to that rhythm. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whether you're loving or whether you're loving, it's that. There it is. Stop. All right, let it completely off. Now push it all the way in. Oh. All we needed was some Bee Gees. All we needed was some Bee Gees. Hold on. Let me get the camera out here where we can see this for sure. Oh, all we needed was some Bee Gees. All right, push it in there, Holden. There you go. Now let it out. Push it in. Let it out. All right, now let's do it to Staying Alive. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell by the way I use my walk, I'm a woman's man. No time for talk. It's doing clutchy things. All right, let's stop in case we break that cable. It's doing clutchy things. That's pretty awesome. Apparently, you just needed both of us, some 3 days of tippy tappy, all new lubricants, and a borescope. There's Holden. Oh, there you are. All right, Holden, come on out here. I'll give you this camera. Now we know it does clutchy things. All right, king of the gimbal. He's king of the gimbal. So, one more time. You look right here, Holden, with it. So this is what's been giving us all those problems. And as you can see, it's already maxed all the way out, which means our clutch is as far in as it can go. 44,000 miles, it's probably been adjusted a couple of times in a Yugo. But now we know it does clutchy things. It goes in and out. So theoretically, we could start it, put the clutch in, put it in gear, and then let off the clutch and just see what happens. But we might be better off dead. Again, another 80s movie and TV reference. Better off dead. John Cusack, I want my $2. Again, some of you are like, who is this guy? Now you're gonna have to look it up. It's a reference. I want my $2. So there was this paper boy, and he was chasing John Cusack around to get his $2. It ends up being sort of the anti-foil. Again, look that word up too. Big words today. It's a big word day. But I noticed it was on Max, Cinemax last night, so I had to watch Better Off Dead. I'd be better off dead than to be without you. Yeah, watch that when you get a chance. So, gosh, I guess we should just do this thing, shouldn't we, Holden? So what I need, I'm going to go in there. I'm going to start it. I'm going to put it in gear. I'm going to let off the clutch, and we're just going to see what happens. So Holden, you're going to focus on that tire. Focus on that wheel right there. We cannot hit the brakes because the reservoir is off the master cylinder because the zip ties broke. Did I mention the reservoir was held on with zip ties? So I go to my Haynes manual. Haynes, hardback Haynes manual we got with the Yugo. And it says to put the reservoir on, and then it says to zip tie it on. It came out of the factory zip tied. Thank you, Yugo. You're my best friend. All right, so we are going to fire it up. We're going to push the clutch in to see if it does clutchy things. And then we're going to put it in gear. And then Holden, just shake your head if it turns. And if it doesn't turn, then I want you to shed a tear in front of the camera because that means we could not do our job. All right, let's see here. All right, I'm putting it in gear. I'm putting it in gear. You ready? I'm shifting gears. Third gear. Is it still spinning? Third gear. Hold on, fourth gear. Spinning. All right, I'm going in reverse. Is it spinning backwards? Oh. How about now? Backwards? Bum, 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 bum. And taking the Olympic flag for clutch release in the Sarajevo 1984 Olympics, it's Yostan Chadovic. Ah, the gold medal for getting clutch working. Thank you to all of my fans at the Whiskey Gas Garage. Oh yeah, a little over the top. Little over the top, but very true. The Olympics were in Sarajevo in 1984, which is why this car ever made it to America before it blew off the Mackinac Bridge and got the not applicable safety rating from the National Transportation Safety Board. So Holden, let's recap. 2,500-mile drive, 36 hours. Bought the car off a guy who was on the Edmund Fitzgerald. Met a guy from Serbia, Bosnia Herzegovina, the old Yugoslavia, on the way back home in Nebraska. Got the car pushed in here. Got it running after being locked up. Uh, Caught it on fire. Bump in the road. Caught it on fire. This car is on fire. Not an 80s reference, but the car was on fire. We don't need no water. Let that old Yugo burn. Again, another 80s song reference. Go look at it, Spotify. Anyway, that all happened. Got it running, changed out the fuel pump, put a new thermostat in it, flushed all the goop out of the oil and put new liquids, and unzip tied. I'm still upset about this whole zip tie thing, Hugo. Um, the master cylinder, finally, after 3 days of tinkering and toying off camera, freed the clutch, and it went all four gears in forward, and it went all the one gear in reverse. And it's a Yugo. Did I mention it's a Yugo? Because that should pretty much tell you the whole story right there. You go nowhere. I went to Napa Joe yesterday. I said, Napa Joe, I need a gas cap for my Yugo. And he goes, well, that sounds like a fair trade. I was like, no, Yugo Joe, I don't need to trade you a gas. Oh, Yugo Joe. Uh, it's There's a long way to go. There's brakes, there's suspension, there's lots of stuff that has to happen before this Yugo is going to be a really actual running driving vehicle, especially something we could take on power tour. But we're going the right direction. We're going the right direction. We got to get a water pump. We're going to throw in the next episode. Um, we're going to get the wheels and tires back on it. Hopefully, got to get the brakes done. Of course, we got to get a fuel system that's sustainable. The tank's fine. It's pulling fuel. It's doing everything that a tank should do. We just got to get those rubber lines that somebody self-tappered. Dalton at Pole Barn Garage, did you work on this? Because there's self-tappers screwed to the bottom of the thing, holding the lines up for the fuel tank. So I can only assume that you did it. And then we're going to experiment. We're going to play. We're going to continue to work on the inside, the outside, see if it can do lights, and try to get the rest of the electronics hooked up. And there's a long way to go before we sleep. And we're going to do it on this thing. So thank you guys for hanging out with us and listening to our stories, mostly of which are true. We're going to hit up this as soon as we get the water pump in. We'll start filming episodes for the next shot of it. In the meantime, Holden and I are going tomorrow. So we filmed a couple episodes before this. Uh, and I didn't know how to edit, so I sent all the footage off to a guy, and he got malwared, and we lost all of our video for both the Thunderbird and the bus. We did an entire bus, an old Lyman Correctional Center prison bus. We turned into a tour bus for my band, the Whiskey Wranglers, and had all that footage gone, just gone. So the episode that dropped today, and you may have seen it already, I edited that myself, which is why it may look a little wonky, but decided I'm just going to edit all these things myself. So Holden and I are going tomorrow, and we're going to do a big walkthrough tour of the bus and show you everything we did to convert an old school bus, or actually an old prison bus into a modern tour bus that we took on tour on the East Coast this past spring. So we're going to show you that, and then we're going to also probably do we're going to do the Thunderbird, and because it's going to go up on the channel pretty soon. But again, we lost all the footage, but we're going to show you exactly how it turned out. And so we got all that going, and you may have already seen our next car. We teased it. We only tease it tomorrow, but I'm talking to you like a week from tomorrow. Okay, we're doing a Triumph TR7. A 1978 Triumph TR7 is our next rescue. It has been parked since 2001, and it is. Does it run? Of course, no, it doesn't run. Of course, it doesn't start. Doesn't have a battery. Has been sitting since 2001, but it's weird. I've done some work on these. Had one of these, and you'll learn later that my starter wife. I said starter wife. Sold it in a yard sale for $500 while I was deployed overseas. Thanks for that. Stories to tell. But without that happening, the Holden might not have been here to hold my camera. So, we'll just make it, the butterfly effect. So we're going to tell that story, and then we're going to go get the Triumph TR7 tomorrow. Holden and I are going to go buggy ourselves there to get that, and then bring it back here and push it up in the driveway where it can sit. And my wife go, boy, I really liked it when I could put my brand new Bronco in the garage. And I'll be like, well, that sucks to be you. Because that's going to go over well. So you guys hang in, hang out, and hang on. We'll see you next time on Whiskey Gas Garage.
Well, if your ride's broke down and looking sad, got a clunker car, it's just plain bad. Don't you fret, don't you worry, don't you sad.